So how long did it take you to figure out who the villain was? Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
And I'm Michelle.
This is our post-Geekout reaction for The Incredibles 2. Apologies again for how late this thing is.
Yeah, in fact, it was incredible. We were able to get tickets for this.
You're the worst. The literal definition of worst. Yeah, man, it's on me. It's on me on this one. Because I knew people were excited about this. I knew people were waiting on this film.
But you had no idea it was going to sell out so fast, did you?
We literally, we tried everything to see this movie early. Like, we were wanting to see it together, but it got to the point in which we realized there's just no way that our schedules will work out that way. You go and see it on your own. So on, like, Saturday, you went at, like, 4 o'clock. And then I stayed and watched Peach, and then you just texted me back. Everything is sold out until 11:40 at night. Yep. And then the next day, we finally got a moment. It was just like, okay, screw seeing it here in Brooklyn. We're going to go into the city where there's dozens of movie theaters. They're each playing it on 9 different screens. We're going to go. We're going to find something showing us. For 2 hours, we ran around the city looking for a theater that was playing Incredibles 2. Everything was sold out. Also,
it's 90 degrees out.
Yes.
We were running around in the boiling heat.
We suffered for this movie.
Yes.
So finally we had to see it here on Monday. Again, sorry that was so late, but dear God, I did not know people were this excited for Incredibles 2.
They've been waiting for 14 years.
Deal with it. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I know people have been waiting 14 years, but Jesus, I had an easier time getting tickets to Infinity War. Oh my God. Okay, granted, I was smart enough to reserve tickets in advance of that one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the thing that I kind of have to get out of the way right now. I'm sure a lot of people are going to assume that Incredibles is my favorite Pixar film. I like it. It's good. It is a good film. Great film. Applause all around. It's not even in my top 5 Pixar films. Really?
Because when I first met you, I thought you said it was your favorite, but
No, I've always said Monsters, Inc.
Oh, okay.
Unless I was trying to impress you. You can't trust what I say when we're first dating as facts.
You lied to me.
There's like a 6-year limit on how long you can be mad at a lie. But no, man, Monsters, Inc. was always my favorite. Inside Out, definitely. Granted, that's a newer one, but that jumped up there. Coco is up there in that top 5. Yeah, man, if it's in the top 5, it's at number 5. I do like it. It's really good. Number 5 on my top 5 Pixar films, that is something to be proud of. But yeah, man, it was one of those, I know people are shocked because, don't you love superheroes? How is this not your number 1? Because the other ones are better. Those other 4, I think, are better films. I really do like that first Incredibles film. I think it's great. But yeah, it was not one that I was sitting around for a decade going, when are we getting the next one? I was like, is there going to be a next one? Awesome. Great. But after 3 or 4 years, I was like, I don't care anymore. I refuse to wait this long on this movie. No more excitement for this thing. So yeah, I was like, okay, cool. It's finally coming out. Great. We'll see it. Man, I did not know that everyone else on the planet was still it's been 14 years. And I've been waiting in line this entire time.
But it's not just adults too. It's little kids were watching it too.
Yeah, that's the thing that really kind of impressed me about this is I was like, have little kids seen the first Incredibles film? It's yeah, apparently. Or it didn't matter. That's the thing, you gotta remember what it's like to be a little kid. It's it doesn't matter if you know the backstory to this stuff. You just enjoy it. And man, the kids in our theater were eating this thing up. The kids in our theater love this movie. Mm-hmm. Great, awesome, good for them. I will go ahead and say, I like this film too. Did I like it more than the first Incredibles?
I don't know.
I
like them both equally, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's been forever since I've seen the first Incredibles, so it's gonna take a while. I think I like the first Incredibles better, simply because I think that it's kind of got more of a single message in there or a single story in there. Whereas this one, I feel okay, you got the stuff with Bob at home, and then you got stuff with Helen there. Whereas I feel with the first one, you had the home environment and the superhero stuff, and it was more kind of together. Whereas this almost kind of felt like each were kind of their own separate little mini movies. But not that I'm counting that as a negative, just the reason why I like the first one better. Because I do think that both of those little mini movies work great. I think they're both really damn good. I will also say that maybe one of the other reasons why I like the first one a tad bit better is at no point in the first one do I have to go, my eyes!
Oh,
My eyes!
yeah, there is like...
Oh my god!
Yeah, there should be like an epilepsy
I
warning.
had seen people warning each other on Twitter about this.
Yeah, it's like...
I thought it was gonna be like one scene. No, man, it's constant in this thing. If you are at all light sensitive, like if you have ever like been scared of the idea of like having like an epileptic seizure, man, wait for this to come on TV until they put out like the safe version of this.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Holy cap! I do not. Holy cap!
Holy Captain
Holy cap.
America!
Holy cap, Batman! Peach, stop biting the electrical cord.
Peach, come here.
Sorry, our dog was eating the light cord in this corner. If you want to see some sparks pop up on the screen there, it was about to happen. Our dog is Jack Jack.
Yes.
Let's see. But no, yeah, there were moments. I am not even like light sensitive at all, but man, so many times I was like, I just gotta stop here for a second.
Yeah, it's like I saw the warning on Tumblr. It's like, huh, weird. And then it shows like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
I follow a Twitter account called Simpson Films, in which they take 4 screen caps of episodes of The Simpsons, and they use that to be like summations of movies. It's actually, if you are a fan of Simpsons, it is a great account. I freaking love that account. For this one, it was one GIF that they put up. It was when they went to Japan.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one thing they had for this. I was like, yeah, that's kind of it. So yeah, again, not really holding that as a negative, just kind of like, all right. But again, another reason why I kind of like the first one a little bit more than this one is, I joked about it in the opening, but oh my god, Disney, Pixar, how have you not figured out by now your villains all have a theme to them?
Yeah.
Dear God, it's not even funny at this point anymore. Like, Coco was my breaking point for that, in which I was like, don't do this. We all see it coming a mile away. It's the exact same villain you have had in all your other freaking movies. Yep, here we go again. Wow. Okay. But, okay, let's go ahead and actually get into talking more a little in depth about this film. And for anybody who is a longtime fan of the Post-Geekout Reactions, first off, thank you very much. But also, you know that it's not a review, it's just a discussion between the two of us about the thing that we just watched, and that does include spoilers. However, we have been changing how we've been doing these because I've been looking at how our ratings go, and yeah, people really like the Post-Geekout Reactions. But the official reviews that I do for the movies afterwards, most people just kind of watch those, just kind of like, screw it, I'll have something on in the background.
Yeah.
Like, we will always watch the Post-Geekout Reaction, not so much the reviews. So I'm working on the idea of maybe just getting rid of the reviews entirely and just doing this.
It'd be easier.
It'd be way easier, and these are way more fun, and people seem to enjoy these way more. Like, literally, I only have, like, people compliment me all the time on the Post-Geekout Reactions, which is awesome. I'm glad people are enjoying these. I never really get compliments on the reviews. Everybody always talks about the Post-Geekout Reactions. The only review anyone has ever talked to me about was the Batman vs. Superman one. But then after they compliment me on the Batman vs. Superman one, they immediately go and start complimenting me on the Post-Geekout Reaction we did for that movie. So I was like, yeah, man, if people just want me to do this instead, we will. But I understand why people don't want me to just do these because they're spoiler talks. So from this point on, we're saving all the spoiler talk until the end of the video, and we will let people know when we're getting into spoilers so you can tune out then. Everybody good? Cool. All right, let's go ahead and actually talk about the film, though. One thing that I found kind of like interesting about this movie, and I'll admit maybe I went into this with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder because, you know, when you review a film, you need to review what you're given. But if you have something in your mind and then you find out it's not that, you can't help it. It's human nature. You're going to be a little bit like, oh, okay, well, I was kind of wanting this thing, and oh man, this strawberry ice cream is really good, but I was wanting Rocky Road over there. All right, I'll judge the strawberry for itself. Man, when I finally found out they were doing an Incredibles sequel, the one thing that had me excited about was like, man, imagine how much time has passed.
Yes, because so much time has passed.
14 fucking years.
But apparently it literally just starts off where the last movie left off.
Immediately where the last movie leaves off. And one of the problems, again, one of the reasons why I did kind of like the first one a little bit more than this one, and the reason why I kind of say this one feels a little bit like mixed messages going in there, I guess is one of the best ways to say, is that at the last one, it ends with them suiting up to go into battle. Even Jack Jack is getting suited up. In this film, it immediately after the battle, they then go to a hotel, which I had totally forgotten that, oh yeah, their house was destroyed. They go to a hotel and they say, yeah, listen, the bureau is being cut down, the bureau is being stopped. you guys, the best I can do is you got 2 weeks in this motel, and then that's it. And then they're having dinner that night, and they're like, listen, you did wrong by using your powers out there. You were not supposed to use your powers. And it's like, well, you all went out there and suited up together at the end of the last one. Why were you okay with it then, but after the fight, it's like, no, you really shouldn't have done that. And also, they still don't know that Jack Jack has powers. Why did you make a suit for Jack Jack if you didn't know they had powers?
I remember Edna Mode made Jack Jack a costume.
They did, but why did they give it to the baby didn't dress itself? Yeah, so it was kind of just like, oh, you guys weren't expecting to do a sequel when you ended that last film, and now it does kind of have that problem I have with many sequels out there, which is kind of like, oh, we kind of have to do the whole thing all over again kind of thing, which is like, you know, the first film, it was Mr. Incredible, he was going out there in the bow, but then we had the home life. This one, it's Elastigirl going out there, but then you got the home life, but way more stuff is happening at the home life.
Yes.
Whereas with the first one, which part of me applauds that, part of me thinks that that's a good thing. But again, with the first film, it was kind of like, yeah, but all the home life, because not enough stuff was going on there, it made it all feel like one kind of thing. Whereas this, it feels like two stories going at the same time. But, I mean, that's just me. Again, the two stories are really darn good.
I guess so, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, the movie is called The Incredibles.
Yes.
So, of course, you have to, like, deal with each member of the family.
I will say the family stuff in this one is better.
Yes.
It is better in this one because you do get to see all. Yes, that's one thing that I will totally give this film over the other one.
Yeah, it's like, whereas the first one, it felt like more like Mr. Incredible having to deal with family life. And
you know what, that's actually a really good point. That might be one of the reasons why the first one felt like more of a single thing, is because it was just following a single character.
Yeah.
Whereas this one follows everybody. So you know what, it's not really a negative, it's just different.
No, yeah.
Is what it is. Yes, okay. But one thing that we'll hold on to as a little bit of a negative is that, yeah, we're going through the whole, like, oh, hide your powers again thing. It's like, I really was kind of wanting there to be a time skip in this. I wanted them to go, like, Violet's going off to college now.
Yeah, it's like, and maybe, like, in the future, like, oh, hey, the supers are back. They're legal now. So, like, maybe they don't have to worry
We don't need to go through all the bureaucracy and crap. Like, it happened. We saw the heroes come back. Everybody accepted it. Yay, hooray. Yeah, I mean, at the end of it, that's basically what they do at the end of the last one, is that guy basically comes in here and he just goes, let the bureaucrats sort all that stuff out. We'll figure it out later. And it was like, yeah, okay, we don't need to follow, like, how this happens. This film is how that happens. It's like, yeah, I kind of want it to be just more about, like, you know, what happened to them after all this time, and that's not what this is. This is immediately going into, like, the very next minute after that film ended. And, like, yeah, okay, I'll admit, got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. It's like, oh, okay, so we're doing, all right. Because it makes me think, okay, do you have, like, a third one of these planned? Because I'm definitely not waiting 14 years for part 3, and I don't think these actors are either.
Yeah.
Because Craig T. Nelson kills it as Mr. Incredible in here. Like, he really shows up a huge range in that character. He does a fantastic job in here. But every now and again, there is a moment when he's talking, and I just went, yeah, he's getting up there. Like, every now and again, like, when he talks, you can hear, like, his real voice coming in. And, like, you wait another, like, 14 years. Hell, you wait another 5 years to make another one of these. I don't know how many more of these guys could actually do that. I will say, like, the replacement that they got for Dash, I could not tell the difference.
Yeah, he was really good.
That replacement sounded exactly like him. Also, the person who played Violet, I can't remember her name in real life, but yeah, man, she still sounds exactly the same. You know, and also, Holly Hunter, holy crap, she was, Holly Hunter does not sound like she has aged a day in 14 years. Like, everybody else, I could pick out little tiny bits here and there. Dash is a completely different person, even though they sound the same. Holly Hunter was still killing it in this. But again, not like wagging a finger and saying, like, oh, their performances weren't as good. Their performances are amazing in this. But it does make you realize you can't wait to make another one of these if you are making another one of these. But anyway, we're getting into weird behind-the-scenes stuff on this. But basically the story of this is that after they see the heroes stop the Underminer, this corporate guy who, did they ever say what his company does?
I don't know exactly.
They say at one point, like, oh yeah, you run this company. And
yeah, but it's like basically the guy inherited from his dad, and the father was like a huge supporter of superheroes. Like, he used his money to, like, build foundations and, like...
Yeah, statue erected.
Yes, and all that for the superheroes and stuff. So, like, when it got passed down to them, and then the supers became, like, illegal, they did something with the company and this somehow managed to succeed. I'm not...
I was like, how were you... Yeah, they were obviously doing something not just supporting superheroes, because you don't make money off that. No one's a superhero for profit in this world. So, yeah, like, they were really doing a thing, and they were using their excess money to support superheroes.
Right.
But they say it quickly, but it doesn't really ever come up. But basically, his decide, okay, the reason why everybody is against superheroes is because they don't see your side of the story. They're only seeing, like, you know, big destruction, then they see you guys walking around. So we're going to give you guys special suits. They've got cameras in there. We want you to go around saving the world, and then we will actually, like, put all that footage out there. Then we're going to get you press agents. They're going to go out there, get your face in front of cameras so you can do interviews and stuff. And they choose Elastigirl because Mr. Incredible, basically, he destroys everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his job. He punches things really hard.
Like he says, like, you need, like, heavy muscle to, like, deal with the heavy guys, like the big guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like Elastigirl, like, and I think that works because Elastigirl, she's like more sensible.
Yeah, and
like,
also her powers like are not designed for destruction.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But of course, Bob isn't okay with that. Bob wants to be back in the spotlight. He's now got problems that the mom is the one who everybody needs help from, including the kids. That's why I call her the mom there for a second. I jumped ahead in this description. But yeah, he kind of has a problem that, they want her and not me. And yeah, another like kind of like tiny little chip I have on my shoulder. So I was like, we're doing this story? Like, this is a thing that like you've seen so many times. Like
the man learning that.
Oh no, the woman, like people. Wait, no, my wife has the job. Equations in front of face, and I was like, we've seen this so many times.
I guess I understand, but at the same time, this like takes place during like the 50s and the 60s.
It doesn't even really take place in the 50s and 60s. It kind of like takes place almost sort of like in modern day of 50s and 60s style, like never went out of fashion.
I guess so, but
it's a very weird like amalgam because like there's like super high tech stuff in this world, but it's all designed to still look like it's designed almost to look like what the 50s and 60s thought the future was going to look like. Yeah, it's a great art style.
It is. I love the art style.
It's fantastic. But yeah, so I was just kind of like, I get it. I get why you're doing this. Like I said, that's why I'm not really counting it as a negative, more of just as like a chip on my shoulder, because I'm like, I get it. I get why this is the story. I get why with this character, I get all this stuff. I just have seen this, man. Mm-hmm. But also at the same time, it kind of does feel like at the end of the last film, he was like, "Oh, I've accepted family."
Yeah, it's like it felt like he was accepting like his being a family guy and everything. Then suddenly it's like, "Oh, you don't accept this anymore?"
It felt like a sitcom to me.
Yeah.
It felt like, you know how on like a sitcom, like for some reason this really made me think of American Dad. Whereas like in every episode of American Dad, Stan would always kind of learn, it's like, "Wow, the beliefs that I held on to were actually wrong, and this thing is actually right." Then the next episode, right back to being the same old guy that we always knew. Yeah, but I mean, that's not unique to that. That's something that's just in all sitcoms. Like, the character will learn an important lesson. Next episode, back to normal. Yeah, it kind of almost felt like that. Like, didn't you just learn a big lesson about this thing over here? Yeah, but, again, I know I'm making it sound like I really dislike this film. I didn't. This is a damn good movie. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like, I wish you had kind of been a little bit more like bold in your directions here and kind of like push these characters a little bit more. Like, we've been waiting 14 years to see these characters progress. So when you start the film off and it's like, oh, we're dealing with the exact same stuff we were doing in the last film, and Bob is even kind of acting the exact same way they did in the last film. Like, that scene of them at the dinner table where they were all eating together and they were having the argument, I was like, this is almost the exact argument they had in the last film. And I was like, okay, small problem with this film. All right, so yeah, it's a little bit of a negative for me. But
yeah, it's like, I think my only beef with this movie is that there's a lot of it that's very similar to the first movie.
There's some sequelitis going on in this.
So it's like, I was kind of hoping for something a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to see this time skip. I was like, yeah, man, show what's happened. Show the progression going on here. It's like, there's really been like zero progression in any of this. I mean, hell, Violet is still trying even to hit on the same guy who asked her out in the last film.
Yeah, but his memory got erased.
but that's almost like a metaphor for what happened to this movie. Is that like, didn't you guys remember that this whole thing? You've already done this before. But it's like,
speaking of which, I really did like Violet's story.
Violet's good in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you understand like the pain she's going through and why she.
I remember that they were talking about how it's like, man, in this film, like the CGI is so good, you can see the threads on Mr. Incredible's shirt, and I was like, I don't give a shit about that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for really cool art style, but the first film had a really cool art style. I didn't need to see the fucking threads on someone's shirt. Like, that's...
I know, it's like when you see, like, it's like the new Mario game where you actually, like, see the seams on Mario's over. It's like, I don't care about that.
There's that big argument going on right now. It's like, okay, like, when it comes to video games, people are saying, like, we're about to hit the next generation of consoles. Like, in, like, 2 more years, the next generation of consoles are going on. But I was just stopping and thinking, it's like, how much better are these things gonna get? Like, I don't really need, like, there's an argument that a lot of people are making that one of the reasons why the Switch is selling so well, so much better than, like, the Wii U, is that people have now, I mean, there's many reasons for it, but, like, one of the reasons that people are arguing is that we've now hit that point with graphics that people are starting to care less about them because we're no longer making massive, huge leaps forward. And now it's like, hey, man, you want to make a game about a plumber? He looks kind of cartoony and the graphics aren't all that great? That's fine. I don't care. I'm playing Shovel Knight. It's just a bunch of pixels up there, man. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, we've kind of hit that point in which it's like, okay, does it look good? Awesome. I don't need a microscope in order to tell how good this looks. I'm good with that. I don't even remember the point I was about to make about this. I was talking about the shirt and the thread and the fabric. What the fuck was I talking about right before that?
Well, I was mentioning, like, Violet.
Violet. Yes, okay. Yeah, I was talking about that. It's like, I don't care about the threads, but there are, like, actual things that do look better in here. Like, the hair in the first Incredibles, like, hair's the hardest thing to get. Violet's hair in here looks pretty darn good. But, like, she's got these giant bags underneath her eyes. And that I never noticed in the first film. I don't know if it was there, if it was, like, so small, but in this one, like, you definitely noticed the huge bags under her eyes. I love that touch. Like, it really, like, speaks to her character. Like, it is a small bit of, like, change to her character that just makes her look fantastic. And yeah, there's little bits like that every now and again all over the place that looks so darn good. But I also, but at the same time, it's kind of weird when you have, like, the really, like, high-def graphics on, like, the shirts, but then, like, they still try to keep the characters looking very simple. Like, I felt like the clothes actually looked more realistic than the characters, and it kind of created, like, this weird distortion for me at one point. Like, Frozone, him and his costume don't look nearly as, like, cutting edge and realistic as, like, Elastigirl's new costume. So when you see them staying next to each other, I was like, this looks like they're almost in 2 different films.
Well, they are designed by 2 different characters.
Different people, yes. So it's fair. It is fair. It is totally fair.
I like that running gag.
That was a good gag. I really expected her to be in this way more, didn't you?
I was hoping so, but, like, at the same time, it's like, yeah, supers are illegal, so she can't really, I don't know.
But I did love what they did with her.
Yes.
I did love that. We're talking, of course, about Edna. Yeah. We're talking about Edna Mode. Again, she's only in this for 1 scene. She actually was, no, she was in it for the same amount in the last one, because, yeah, they go to her once, then they go to her twice in the first one, they go to her once, they go to her twice in this one. Yeah, she's in here for, like, the exact same amount of time, and she was such, like, a standout, breakout star from the last one. I was expecting way more from her in this film. But no, they still kept her light, which is probably a smart...
Yeah.
It's probably smart. Like, keep the audience wanting more. It's probably a smart idea there. But basically, they have to take Jack Jack over to her so that she can actually, like, examine him.
Yes.
Man, those interactions with her and Jack Jack are great. I love it. In fact, I'll be totally honest with you. I was expecting to be really annoyed by Jack Jack.
Yeah, but, like,
he's so good.
He's adorable.
He's adorable in this.
You're doing right when you're making babies cute and not annoying. Like,
kids in Pixar films are really darn good. But yeah, so really like Violet's story. Dash, I actually really enjoyed some of the stuff with him.
Yeah, he didn't really have much of a story, but like that's okay, I guess.
He was still just a running gag.
Yeah, like he's just a kid still.
He's still like, yeah, it's like I would have liked a little bit more depth to him. He still is just one emotion the whole time. I was like, all right, I can buy it for his character at this time. But I will say, I actually did really like Mr. Incredible. Like, when he tried to, like, step up and, like, try and be a dad. I really dug those parts.
Yeah.
It does kind of make you realize why they put this out on Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really dug seeing him trying, like, in the trailers, you see that stuff of him like going like, math is math, you shouldn't change math. And I was like, man, again, this is stuff I've seen before. You've seen the dad who gets really flustered and upset, like, oh, I have to do the house cleaning now. How do I do this now? I really actually dug seeing like he does that for one day. Then he buckles the fudge down and he goes and bees a dad. He
actually like reads up on the mat to help Dash with his homework.
Then wakes Dash up and like teaches Dash how to do his homework. He actually tries to make things right with Violet.
You actually see him make waffles for the kids, and it's like, wow, that's really nice. Like,
it's small little things like that, but it's very good. And like you see him trying to deal with Violet's issues and like what's going on with her and her was going to be boyfriend, but then he got his mind wiped. Another small complaint I have is that they set up a really good scene there where he finds out where this kid works at a restaurant, and then he takes them there to go and eat at the restaurant, and then they just cut that like right away. I was like, no, I want to see that scene keep going. It's like, oh, but you know, it's a good setup. It's a good setup.
Like I'm sure there's like.
There's got to be a deleted
scene. I mean, it's like this movie is like 2 hours long, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had like cut some stuff out.
But there's a very clear no, there's more at least in the script from that. So I would have dug seeing what came from that. But yeah, so I actually really did enjoy seeing him actually like buckle down with his family, and you do see it still wearing him down. But there comes that moment after where he does reach like the breaking point, and I actually really kind of enjoyed that he was just like. Listen, you know why I'm not telling your mom about this? It's because I'm Mr. Incredible. I have to take everything in, and I have to figure it all out, and I need time to process this stuff. And I was like, yeah, you do. It's like, this is one of those times in which I fully understand, like, this isn't like one of those the liar reveal stories like, oh no, honey, I said everything was fine, but it wasn't fine. I should always have been honest with you about this. I love that that's not the message of this film. That's something I gotta applaud this movie for. The message of this film wasn't, again, oh, he should have learned to trust his wife and like have her help him with the family. And sometimes like, no, the message of this film was that like step up, try and be a dad. It's still gonna be really damn hard, but the kids step up and help him out at one point. I was like, yeah, man, it's a family thing. Everybody coming together. But this is not like a wag a finger at the dad because, oh, he didn't tell the wife. Like, no, when you actually stop and think about this, it actually makes sense of like, yeah, man, he probably should have told the wife about this. This was a crazy thing going on, and she was in a crazy situation. She was trying to bring superheroes back. She was doing a big thing. It was actually the right thing for him to not try and, like, get her to stop doing that.
It's like he has to learn to, like, do things on his own, basically. Like.
Which is weird, because the first one was he has to learn how to do things with the family. But, yeah, it really was just kind of like, no, man, what he did was the right thing, because it's not like Jack was in danger.
No.
It's not like the kids were like failing school. It's not like, you know, everything was going wrong. He was able to keep the ship afloat. He was able to step up and do this thing. And I did enjoy seeing that in here. But it still like took a toll on him, as it will. I mean, that's the realistic side of it. And the moment in which it did get to be too much, he did reach out for help. But he reached out to help to somebody who could help him. Other than the wife, because the wife had an important thing she had to do. I feel like disrespectful calling her the wife, but I'm trying to refer...
Helen.
I know her name. This is one of the few times in which I do know character names. No, I was calling her the wife because I was trying to like make like a general statement of like, man, sometimes your wife has to go to her job, man, and you gotta figure out how to take care of the kid yourself. Like I'm trying to make it like a general statement. So yeah, I actually really did enjoy that aspect of it. It is a story I've seen many times before, but heck man, Disney has proved many times before they can tell me the same story over and over again and I can buy it. I can still enjoy it. They can still find just enough different stuff to do in there to make me enjoy it. How many people are picking up the sound of Peach chewing on her rawhide down here? Oh, massage with my foot. Okay.
So you want to move on to...
Spoilers?
Yeah.
Anything else you want? Let's see. I will say I like the new supporting characters.
Yes, like I was just gonna say that. Like I don't know if like the supporting characters are any spoilers or not, but like.
No, not really. Like we know there's a corporate guy played by Bob Odenkirk. He has a sister who is like the inventor. Basically, like she's the inventor. He's the one who actually sells everything. And listen, what's his name? Who makes this? Who made this, Murray? Brad Bird?
Yes.
Yeah, Brad Bird, he is a very political guy.
Yeah.
And he definitely... which is very obvious in this one. Like, in the first one, like, when people came out here and said, this is actually kind of a metaphor for Atlas Shrugs, for kind of like Ayn Rand. And people are like, wait, what? And then you look at it, it's like, oh, fuck, kind of. I guess. But you know what? He was able to hide that message in there, and I was like, all right, okay. This one, he is flat out going, no, politicians are all terrible, man. They're all like, this is one, like, the opening lines of the movie. He's like, no, politicians are all terrible because they're trying to keep really good people from doing really good things. And like, oh, he just didn't care about hiding this anymore. But then he kind of, like, stops with that message. Like, there's a little bits of it every now and again in which he has, like, Helen and the sister, like, having a conversation. And I mean, it's like a flat out political conversation. And, like, they stopped the whole, like, oh, this is a family film thing to have them actually have, like, an actual political conversation about, like, oh, well, who deserves it more? Like, the inventor or the promoter? Who's more important, the mind behind this something or someone who's able to sell the thing? And that's not really political. That's more of economic discussion. And it was just kind of weird that, like, they stopped, like, this whole thing about superheroes just stopped existing for, like, 5 minutes in that movie. It's like, yeah, man, this is kind of like Brad Bird just wanted to, like, turn to the audience and make a message in here. And he didn't work it in here quite as well. But there are other messages in here.
Yeah.
That I actually really, like, enjoyed. I think they actually worked them in here really well. I think they did put them in here very subtly. And also, I will say, listen, you guys know I'm a big hippie liberal. I, of course, do not really agree with a lot of his political philosophies. But he's also, in many ways, a big hippie liberal as well. And there is a very strong, like, pro-LGBTQ message in this movie. Maybe I was reading too much into that. But, I mean, there's a moment in which Bob Odenkirk shows to her a room full of other superheroes from around the country that he's gone and found. And they're like, yeah, they were all underground. They were all in hiding. None of them wanted to come out. But when they saw you out there, they got the courage. And I was like, yeah, I know what you're saying here. I mean, there was a moment in which there's a character called Void, who I actually really like that character.
Yeah.
She comes up here and she, like, is just telling us, like, I was so scared of, like, being me, but when I saw you out there, it's like, I know exactly what he's trying to say here. And kudos to you on that. Okay, I'll applaud. You can put in there the message that I don't agree with. If you give me one that I'm fine with. Okay, cool. I'm on your side here on this one. Okay.
And it's like, this sort of thing happens in real life too. Like, representation does matter.
Representation matters. That's
yes,
the big message of this film.
Yeah, so, like, that's why they needed Elastigirl out there to, like, give superheroes a good name and to show them that they don't need to be afraid to be themselves.
Exactly. That is a big part of this. But yeah, I really like all the other heroes that they introduced. And, like, the combat stuff in here is great. Like, when they actually start fighting. That is another, like, small problem that I had with this film that I want to point out. Is that, the way that last movie ends is like, man, we're going to get a family of superheroes. Nope. Until the end of this movie. Like, again, for, like, 3/4 of this movie is like, no more superheroes anymore. Except for one. One's allowed to go out there. So that whole thing about you guys teaming up and being a family, not doing that. That's not what this movie is about. Until the climax of the movie, just like at the climax of the last movie, and then everybody teams up again. It's like, okay, again, you wanted a movie about, like I said, you shouldn't go in here and criticize the film because it's not the thing that you were wanting it to be. You should criticize it I'm sorry, not criticize, but you should critique it as being the thing that it is. But I do feel like it's a legitimate critique to come in here and say, you kind of showed us a thing at the end of the last film, and then you kind of undid that, and then kind of sort of gave us the first film all over again. Like, I do feel like that's kind of a legitimate critique. And when it comes to how much the family is used in all the superheroic stuff, it's kind of the same. It's like, we don't see them anymore. They all retired. They all stop being it until the very end of the film again. But all the stuff that they do at the very end, when they're actually all using their powers again, like, that's really damn cool. I do feel like the Incredicar, whatever it's called.
An Incredimobile,
something like that. I feel like that kind of comes out of nowhere. It's really cool.
I mean, like, he did ride around in the Incrediblemobile in the first one, but, like, since then, he did not have it, so...
But also, it's just kind of like the film, like, 3/4 of the way through, they just stop and just go, oh, hey, everybody, the Incrediblemobile is back. I was like, wait, where'd that come from? That was
I don't know, I kind of felt like they, like, needed a reason to, like, get to the villains and everything.
They need but again, it's like, just because you need it does not mean that's the good way to introduce it. Like,
the Deus Ex Machina mobile.
Man, I know everybody's like, I know you hate Deus Ex Machina, you talk about it all the time. I'm okay with the fact that you give them a car that can do everything, because that's what superhero cars could do back in the 50s, which is when this film is supposed to be like influenced by. I'm okay with a car being able to do everything. I'm just not really okay with the fact that like literally out of nowhere they just stopped the movie to like Bob is watching TV and just goes, "This rich man just bought the Incredimobile." What? That's my old car, and I still have the remote that could bring it right to me anytime I need it. I was like, really? That has nothing to do with the plot. That has nothing to do with anything. You just stop the whole movie to do it. So yeah, it's a little bit like, really? Come on. Oh, all right, fine. But it's a cool ass car.
Yes.
And everything after they like get out there and get on like the ship and actually start fighting out there, it's like, man, it's really cool. And also they do with the other heroes out there, really damn cool. So yeah, this film, it's great. I really did enjoy it. But I mean, I'm not going around like pumping my fist in the air like, the Incredibles are back, everybody. Mostly because I was never really pumping my fist in the air to begin with on that one. But yeah, man, I feel kind of the exact same way about this one that I felt about the first one. I have a few more problems with it. I do have a problem with it being a little bit of like sequelitis all over again. But, I mean, as many complaints as I made about it, the positives in here are so damn good. I'm giving it like an 8.5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it like I can't quite get up to 9. Like, I want to get up to 9, but I'll give it an 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
what about you? You want to give it a number or anything?
Let's see. I guess maybe like a 9. Like,
give it a 9? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I nitpicked the crap out of this film.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
But, so you want to go into the...
We'll go into the spoilers now, okay.
All right.
Okay, Peach is just staring at us. She has no idea what we're doing. But yeah, we'll get into the spoilers right now. Okay. Big ass problem I have with this movie is the same goddamn problem I have had with... Again, none of them on their own are bad. It's just the accumulation, and I can't stand it any longer. Okay. The villain of this film turns out to be the sister who Helen formed the friendship with. And it's like, oh God, can you just give me a villain? Can you just give me a villain again? Because like this film, Coco, Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 2, I know Frozen. God, I know I'm forgetting some in here. I know I'm forgetting some other ones, but yeah, man, we have had so many Disney and Pixar films that have just been, the villain is actually the guy who was being the friend to our protagonist in here. It's like, no, come on with that.
Yes. Yeah,
although I will say, I thought it was going to be another character in here because it was so obvious it was going to be her. Like, I don't, like, even beyond just, this is how it's been in other Disney Pixar films for a while now.
Yeah, like, just the way she was introduced, there's like...
She is like constantly, every single thing she's doing is in the background just like...
Yeah.
And then she's having like the conversations about, I kind of hate what my brother's doing, don't you? It's like, no, I think your brother's doing some good things. Oh, really? Our parents were murdered because heroes didn't come save them. Our parents were murdered because they didn't get to the safe room because he tried to call the heroes rather than going to the safe room. I was like, she actually kind of has a point, but that's also motivation on her part.
Yeah. It's like, it's a really weird moral that this movie's trying to like give us.
I was honestly wondering what they wanted the moral of this film to be.
It's like, don't trust superheroes because you have to help yourselves, or like, I don't know, but at the same time it's like superheroes are there, but they're not always there. Like
yeah, it's really kind of odd. I'm still thinking about what exactly we were supposed to kind of gain from the message of this film. I mean, was it like never help yourself? Was it like only rely on the heroes to do stuff? Because she does kind of have a point in that, like, yeah, he should have gone to the safe room. I mean, they would have survived that way. But at the same time, it's like, yay, the superheroes coming back kind of stuff. And I really was like looking at that as like, are we supposed to be? It's one of those moments in which it makes you go, okay, you want to create a villain that has like a point, but they take it too far. But I was looking at this, it's like, I don't even know if like Brad Bird thought she had a point. Like, I didn't know if like when they were making this movie, if they were like, yeah, she's totally wrong about everything, or if it was she had a point but she went too far with it. Like, I really don't know what they wanted us to feel walking out of this movie. It's very odd.
Another thing I've like noticed in the Incredible movies is that the people with the superpowers are always like the good guys, but the people without the superheroes are usually
we're 2 for 2 on that one now.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah. I ain't getting into any of that.
No.
I will say, as I was watching this movie, like, people have written, like, big essays on, like, what Brad Bird's secret mean behind the Incredibles was. Man, I couldn't help it but look at this film and go, someone is going to write an awesome paper on this. There's so much that you can read into this film. I don't even know, like, how far down this rabbit hole goes. So I am very intrigued to see, like, the analyses that will go on for this film.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, wow, that's something to think about right now.
It's amazing how deep you can go with just a movie about superheroes.
Yeah, well, shit, man, Marvel's proven that many times. That's another reason why I kind of wasn't pumping my fist so much at the end of this film, is that when the first one came out, it was 2004, and at that point, hey man, superheroes were still like fresh. And as a superhero fan, it was still kind of like, yeah, man, I don't get this that much from movies. And they nailed it. They captured that feeling. 14 years later, I have had tons of movies that have nailed that. It's not really special anymore to me. Like, at the end of this movie, when they're all teaming up to save the day, I was just like, yeah, cool, they're going to be fine. They're going to get it. It's going to be good. Man, I will say that when it comes to the villain, though, the only reason why I didn't think it might be her is because, A, it was too obvious, but also it felt like they were setting up the guy from the Bureau who had helped them out all this time to be the villain.
Maybe?
That's what I've been getting, because the guy the villain that they were going up against was a guy who had hypnosis powers that made people forget whenever they had the hypnosis powers used on them. And they've been set up this entire time. Oh yeah, he's the guy who made everybody forget things. Oh, Violet's boyfriend, he doesn't remember her at all because he accidentally made him forget all about her. He made them forget too much stuff. This is his technology that he has been using this whole time. Also, he's really sad that the Incredibles have left. Oh man, if only there was some kind of a villain that the heroes could go and stop, so that way people would appreciate the heroes all over again. Again, it's kind of a stretch almost, but the reason why I was looking at that is I was like, no way is it the sister, because that is way too obvious. Oh, it's the sister. Oh.
Yeah, I kind of got that too. It's like, I don't know, at one point I thought like they hired Frozone to be the enemy because they wanted to like put on like a display for the heroes and everything.
You thought he was going to be a villain?
I don't know.
Oh, wow, okay.
Well, like he didn't really show up because they were busy playing with Elastigirl.
Man, that's another thing. I want Frozone in way more of this movie. Man, they even end the same way that they did with Frozone in the last film. Like, I gotta go and get my super suit. Wife yells from off camera about the super suit, gets the super suit. Although him fighting off like all the other like heroes, again, the fight scenes in this are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. And man, yeah, Frozone was a really, no pun intended, he was a really cool dude. Yeah, I love seeing him kind of get like some respect in this film and get like a moment to not just be the guy who comes in at the end and like helps take out one of the robots with the family. It's like, nah, man, you see him going toe to toe with a bunch of other heroes. He's really being a badass in here. So I appreciate that. But man, let's see. So the villain, I thought that was a weak reveal. Yeah, I was watching. I try not to bring this guy up too much anymore after everything that happened to him, but he does every now and again bring up good points. I was watching the Nostalgia Critic back before I stopped doing that, and everyone else did. And he brought up a good point about Disney villains, is that, yeah, the villains aren't that great anymore, partly because we're not allowed to think of them as villains until the last, like, 10 minutes of the movie, whereas before they would have villains who, like, reveled in it. And I'm thinking back to Syndrome, and it's like, man, that dude was an awesome villain, like, from start to finish. That's because you got to be a villain from start to finish. Yeah, nuts. Any other like big spoilers? That's really the only like spoilery thing in here. I will say that, man, when they do another one of these, I don't want it to be like just again like picking up right there. Like,
yeah,
I do want to see like
you do want a time skip,
because as good as Jack was in this film, it's like you can't do the baby with unpredictable powers thing.
No, it's like
twice.
Yeah, I like to see him as like a kid trying to like get control of his powers.
Have him now be like Dash's age or something. Yeah, and now he's trying to figure out like what to do with those powers. Like, man, you want to make this like a story about family, make it about like you're dealing with your kid going through like adolescence and they don't know what's happening to their body. And it's like, shoot, neither do the parents. Yeah, trying to think of anything else. Really to say. There were nice little callbacks in here. I dig that Bob's coffee cup was from the insurance company. I thought that was a cute thing in there. But yeah, we really should have watched the first one before watching this one because there were so many times in here in which they would reference the first one. Like in which he said, yeah, I worked at that insurance company for that many years. Like, I forgot that.
Really? Like, maybe it's just because, like, I have a good memory, but,
Yeah,
like, I do, like... I do remember The Incredibles very well, but... Yeah,
I totally forgot that he worked at an insurance company. But those are some of the best moments from that entire movie. Any other, like, spoilery things in here? I guess it was really just the reveal of the villain.
Yeah, I guess so.
I did like that Bob Odenkirk wasn't also a villain as well, because it's Bob Odenkirk, and it's easy to make him a sleazebag. Like, that's, like, the guy he plays incredibly well. So I like that even though he's a big corporate guy, they didn't go with sleazebag corporate guy, because that's his MO. That's what he's known for being. It's like, no, okay.
It's like he's a child at heart, as the sister mentioned. It's like, he's just a child. He doesn't know any better. That's why I'm the one who's pulling all the strings and everything.
Man, again, it was so obvious from the start with her. I will say, as bad as the seizure warning on this thing needs to be, it's damn cool looking. I mean, there's that moment when she gets trapped in the cage, and from what I was able to see before I closed my eyes, yeah, man, that was really damn cool looking. But I don't know why they had to make it flash. Like, you could just have the stuff go, like, you know, the spinny, like, clock thing or whatever. It's like,
I guess so. Like, maybe they'll re-edit it or something.
That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's an easy re-edit. It's not like they had to go in there and take out a dog rape scene. That's a reference to another movie we had to watch like 2 weeks ago that they had to go back and re-edit within like 2 days. So yeah, I am actually referencing a thing from another movie recently. Yeah, I don't really have any other spoilers. It was really just a discussion about who the villain was. That was the only real spoiler thing about this. But yeah, let us know what you thought of this movie in the comments down below. Let me know how wrong I am for not making Incredibles my #1 movie of all time. I am sure people have told me many times that Monsters, Inc. did not age well. I'm sure it hasn't, but man, it's still my #1.
Yeah, I still really enjoy it, too.
I still really enjoy it, too, yeah. I actually really like Monsters University.
Yeah.
I don't think we were doing post-Geekout reactions at the time, but man, I really like that movie. So, anywho, let us know what you thought about this film in the comments down below. You can always follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr at Professor Thorgy. And also let us know what you think about the idea of us now just doing the post-Geekout reactions instead of the reviews. Also let us know if you could hear Peach in the corner chewing on her rawhide. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Ew, this thing is nasty.
Yeah.
We gotta get her new rawhide.
It's now just like...
It's just a nub.
It's just a raw ball is what it is. Alright, bye everyone.
Bye.